Hey everyone, Simon Hurley from Clips here. Welcome to another video. Today I am super excited to be participating in Emily Leaphardt's 5,000 subscriber blog hop. This has a super awesome concept to it because all of your favorite designers' kids are actually going to be creating all the projects today on their blogs. So it'll be super fun to watch and super fun to hop along to see all those projects. As a younger kid myself in this industry, it's super fun to see a bunch of other kids joining us for this blog hop and seeing what they all create. I know it's going to be super fun, so after you're done watching my video, be sure to keep hopping along and get all the inspiration you can through this blog hop. A bunch of super generous companies decided to help sponsor this blog hop, which is always awesome. So there's going to be a bunch of different giveaways you guys can win. There's going to be much more information at my blog down in the description below, but there's also going to be a ton more information at Emily's blog, so don't forget to stop over there if you need any help. So, without further ado, let's get into how I created these cards. All I'm using today is 3 different stamp sets with a bunch of different critters from Waffle Flower, Neat and Tangled, and Paper Smooches, and also a digital image which I just love and you'll see it later on. I'm using a bunch of stencils to ink blend the backgrounds through, and also a bunch of different colorful inks from Catherine Pooler, which will give you super bright colors and awesome blending. So all the examples that I show in today's video and all the cards that I made will actually show you just how to ground your critters and how I like to do it really simply without overwhelming the cards, so hopefully this will give you a little bit of an insight into that. So I like to start off by taping down my stencil at a little bit of an angle. It tends to fit better on my cards, and later on you'll actually see that the images will be tilted on that same angle, so it looks a little bit better once you're finished. And now we're moving on to the ink blending. Today I'm actually going to use Catherine Pooler inks to blend through these stencils. I love these because they come in a bunch of different super bright and vibrant colors, and on top of that they're also foam ink pads, so they're really nice and easy to get ink out of, which is great for stamping. But for ink blending, it's great to get a bunch of color really quickly. You can blend all these backgrounds super fast while getting a super vibrant color as well, and they're really nice and juicy, so they're really easy to blend all the colors together. I encourage you guys to play around with a bunch of different color combos. That's what I love doing in today's video. I did kind of test it out with a bunch of different colors that I usually wouldn't use together, and they actually turned out great. But if they don't, you could definitely just trash them. It's just paper, it doesn't really matter, but it's super fun to test out with a ton of different colors that I'm using in today's video. Also, some of the images that you might color in will look better with warm colors, and some will look better with cool colors. So I did 2 warm cards and 2 cool cards, but you want to test it out when you're using your image as well to make it look super awesome with the background. So after I'm peeling this off, it looks awesome. I love blending out these backgrounds. This one I'm doing with a bunch of different blue shades and a bunch of different greens as well. And I love all these inks from Catherine Pooler because they're all the same kind of saturation and vibrancy in this party ink collection. So you get some super awesome blends, and you'll know that they all kind of work together no matter what kind of blends you do. So then I'm peeling this one off, and for the last and final one, I'm just doing a bunch of reds, pinks, and oranges again. So I'm just blending that together, and off to the side you'll see that little piece of paper, which I actually dab off some of the color if it gets a little too much and a little too vibrant. So I'm peeling that last one off, and I think it looks awesome. And now we're going to move on to some coloring of the images. I'm just going to do this super quickly because I didn't do anything super special on these. I colored some in with colored pencils and some with Copics, really simple coloring techniques. This sloth is actually the digital image I was talking about earlier. It's from Just Me Digital Stamps. I'll have links down below to all the supplies that I used in today's video. But can I just say, like, can we keep this sloth trend going? Because ever since I saw Zootopia, I've been like obsessed with sloths, and so it was a joy to color that in. So I'm coloring in these Neat and Tangled images as well. I've used these in videos in the past, but I just couldn't resist using them again because I just love all the little images. So I'm just going to continue coloring that little deer, and I think that might be a raccoon that we're coloring in as well. And I'm using that little apple image, and the raccoon's actually going to be holding it and giving the deer the image. I love using the little images in your set like that to kind of bring a scene together and like create a scene in your card, so it's really fun to do that. And when I'm coloring with Copics, I like to start off with, I think, the darkest color and then blend off to the lightest color. It just helps me a little bit out, and then I don't have to keep going back and forth because I just like to keep it super simple. So I just color with the darkest color, the lightest color, and kind of finish off there. And it doesn't matter to be if it's super well blended or anything. I just love to create some color and add it down onto the image and then just be finished from there because it's just super simple. I also did some with colored pencils today because I love using those, but I think I like how the Copics turned out just a little bit more because they were a little more blended and a little more smooth at coloring. And finally, I'm coloring in this last little monkey here, just adding some really simple shading to the monkey because it's kind of, all these images are super small, so they don't need any super detailed shading, but if you just add a little bit, it just shows some depth and dimension in the image, and then you can just finish it off. And like I said, I'm adding this little flower as well to create a little bit of a scene, kind of an outfit to the monkey. And then I'm taking another card panel and taking the card panels that are already blended and lining them up on my trimmer to make sure they're at the exact same spot. And I'm going to cut on that angle that you saw me make with my stencils earlier. This is why I created those, so that it'll follow the same line. And this will actually create kind of an overlay that'll go over top of that to cover up some of the ink blending that we did and make it more of a perfect look. And I'll be adding this on foam tape in just a little bit. So now after we cut these, it's time to actually start grounding the images like I said. This gives the images a little portion that they can stand on and make it less vibrant and less colorful while still adding to the whole background, but giving the little images enough white space to stand on. So I'm adding all these images down just using some regular adhesive, and then I'm going to stamp down the sentiments on that same white piece using some regular black ink. And this one was supposed to say thank you from the bottom of my heart, but somehow I missed the thank you. So it just says from the bottom of my heart. This one says dance like no one's watching. I love this one. It says hey girlfriend. I'm stamping all these down at the same angle, by the way, on the white cardstock, so that it all kind of follows that angle. And this one just says you are worth the wait. It came along with the digital image, which I just love. Then I'm cutting a piece of fun foam for the back of each one of these portions of the card. You can also just use some foam tape, but this is just going to add some dimension and pop it up on your card. And then I'm just going to add some adhesive to add it all down onto the piece. I'm also just adding some foam tape to where the images are sticking out here with just little pieces of foam tape here and there to make it stand up on the card as well. And after I'm done with that, I'm going to flip this over and add them all onto their card bases. And like I said, some of the images will look better with cool and some of them will look better with warm colors. So I figured all that out. I'm adding them all onto the card panel here. And I really love how all these cards turned out. I think they're super colorful, but it also just adds enough white space for all the images to sit on here without overwhelming the whole card. So finally, after I'm done with that, I'm going to be adding some of this Spectrum Noir shimmer pen to a lot of these different images. I love this, almost the same as the Wink of Stella. I feel like it just gives a little bit more of a shimmer than the Wink of Stella would, and I love how it adds so much to all these cards just by adding a little tiny bit of shimmer and not overwhelming the whole thing. So after I'm done with that, these cards are definitely finished. I loved creating them today and loved creating all these images on these white backgrounds and really grounding them onto the card. This just really creates a nice colorful background while still giving you a nice room for your images to sit and being able to use all those cute little critters on your cards. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to leave a nice comment down below and keep hopping along on this blog hop because there's a bunch of giveaways at the end and much more information over at my blog. I'll leave a link down on screen right now so you can click over to my blog where there'll be much more information and photos and a full supplies list. Also, don't forget to click that subscribe button if you don't want to miss any of my new videos, and I'll see you very soon for another card making, crafting video in the future. Have an awesome day, and thanks for stopping by.